It's your boy Mike Rob coming back to you live from the Elite Vita podcast, man. Where living Moss and living elite lifestyles is mandatory, man. It's a must. We started with, $120, 3 designs, and then since, in a year and a half, a little bit less, we started with 2 kids in our youth sports program, and have since gone to, in 1 city, and have since gone to 3 cities with over 200 kids here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Oak Cliff, Richardson, and Plano, Texas. And today, we want to talk to you about how to get your own print shop started. I'm going to share some of the knowledge and tips that I've learned, some of the trial and error, and take from it what you will, and go from there. But yeah, y'all make sure to like, share, subscribe, man. We don't grow. This doesn't happen without y'all, man. We're definitely people-based, community-based. Support youth sports. Each sale helps us grow, our youth sports programs, and it'll help us get to your city even faster, you know what I mean? Like, once sales take off, you know what I mean, and we do what we need to, we can duplicate this formula, and we can come to a city near you. How to get your own print shop started. Again, started with 2 kids, at over 200 kids, started with $120 and 3 designs. Before we got to where we were, producing our own gear, and we produce about 40 to 60% of what comes out of the shop. We outsource the rest of it. We'll touch on outsourcing here in a little bit. But yeah, just wanted to figure out how to get the print shop started, and it really just grew out of necessity. With us having the 2 kids and then scaling that up to 40 kids in the program and then the 200, and with us having our own athletic streetwear brand, we just needed an opportunity, or really the opportunity presented itself for us to go into manufacturing for ourselves. So if you're going to get started, you need to first figure out what you're going to do. What's your niche, what kind of products you want to put out. What's your target market? Who is it going to service? And then you also need to figure out a why. Why should people buy from you? What's the messaging behind the brand? For us, it's because we were already in the athletic space, the training space, the sports world. We wanted and needed our own athletic brand to help grow and support our youth sports programs. Each sale, transaction, help grow the brand, help market us even more. All of our athletes wear our uniforms and they have training gear. So that's where we started with this, our community. And the fitness community as well, but mainly our initial community of kids from ages 2 to 12 playing soccer. We actually went through about 3 or 4 different manufacturers before we actually jumped into the game ourselves. Before we did that, a lot of trial and error, a lot of research from the manufacturer we had already used, learning what they did and didn't do well, turnaround time, different things like that, their processes and procedures, ton of research on YouTube University, asking questions about how to do it and kind of what goes on. And we wanted to start small. Not sure, how deep we wanted to dive into this. Wasn't even planning on getting a print shop, but we definitely wanted to, increase our profit margins and help up with turnaround time. So we did the research, figured out what it would take. And there's a ton of different methods. So that's another thing. You need to figure out your why. After you figure out your why, and why people should buy from you, what the message is behind the brand, what separates your brand from another brand, what the message is, what the why is, so on and so forth. You need to figure out the type of process that you want to use. And there's a ton of them out there. Again, YouTube University will go in depth on a lot of this different stuff. But you've got a lot of people got a Cricut cutter and a heat press, and they're killing the game with that. You'll need a laptop or a computer or a smartphone, and there's different software that you'll need to design to upload or download to allow your smartphone and computer devices to talk to different Cricut cutters or machines to take an image that you have and actually bring it to life. Once that happens, there are different tools and different machines and pieces that you'll need. Not machines, but scissors, weeding tools, different things like that if you're going the vinyl route. Vinyl is adhesive, what material, plastic-like material. That's washable, decently durable, depending on where you buy it from. So if you're going the vinyl route, there's a certain investment that you're going to need. You're going to need the heat presses, the computer or the laptop or a smartphone, preferably an Apple device. You need the weeding tools, the scissors. You need cutting mats. You'll need vinyl holders. You'll need some tables or Workspace. I already said cutting mat. That's if you go the vinyl route. If you go in the embroidery route, which is not something we specialize in, we actually outsource any embroidery that we have. Shout out to our patch and embroidery company, man. We got some bad merch out and some more stuff on the way. You have the embroidery option. Same thing. The people that do specialize this, or if you plan on doing this yourself, you need to go out and learn as much as you can, take a few sewing classes, learn how to run the sewing machine. I don't know a ton about that, so I won't speak on that. But I know the embroidery process is something that adds a lot of quality, a lot of value to your products in general, adds a lot more longevity to it. And so therefore, with the value going up, you're able to raise the price on it. But again, we outsource that. We don't even touch on that because it's not something we specialize in or nor we want to. You got sublimation. And there's levels to everything, you know what I mean? You got the people that are doing the base level designs, application, and then the more in-depth they are, the more knowledgeable they are, the better quality machines they have or whatever at their disposal, they're able to do more. So you got the sublimation. Sublimation, similar to the heat press method, you'll need a heat press still, but you also need sublimation paper, sublimation printer, and or just sublimation designs. And then the type of material that you're not able to sublimate on every type of material. You have to use a certain type of polyester blend, a certain type of material to actually do the sublimation designs. One of the difference between vinyl and even transfers, or left-eye transfers, there's a lot of things you can do with the heat press. So you've got the vinyl, you've got the heat transfer, the transfers, which same thing is pretty much a completed image that you don't have to weed out. It's already completed and ready to go. You just need to align it and then press it. You've got the sublimation option. You've got embroidery. There's a ton of different things, but we'll stay within those 3 or 4. So that's kind of where we dabble at. And you got patches, and there's different textures and styles of patches, if you will. Going back to the sublimation route, you can either print designs off and treat it like a transfer and directly apply it, and again, this might be something that you want to outsource depending on the detail of your sublimation. They have, you have the ability to basically apply the design to one area of the design or the entire design itself. And there's levels to that. Again, that's when you want to get into the cut and sew method as far as making the design look seamless to where it's not a lot of bleed over or like white spaces in between. And the difference between vinyl and transfers and even like sublimation or embroidery. We'll keep the sublimation and embroidery over here, and then the heat transfers and vinyl on this side. Heat transfer and vinyl go on top of the garment or the gear. They're only sitting on top of it. Stuck to it, but there's only on top of it. As opposed to the sublimation and the embroidery actually goes into it. So as opposed to it sitting on top of it, the ink goes into the fabric or the stitching goes into the fabric. Therefore, it's not going anywhere. It's going to stay there. It would take a lot to actually destroy that, that garment, or the dryer is not going to tear it. The washer and dry cleaner is not going to tear it up. And all you've done is really just add more quality to your brand, but you really just have to, or your products. So you really just got to figure out what's best for you and what route you want to go. And there's pros and cons to everything. There's levels to everything as far as, the quality of it, how much you really want to invest. There's things that I recommend if you don't specialize in, or if you don't have the time for it, or if you focus more on working on the business as opposed to always in the business, then you need to outsource certain things like we do. We outsource our sublimation, our design work, and that's sublimation design. That's just the general merch designs, all embroidery, and then we're working on finding a uniform manufacturer as well. It's going to help, and it's going to allow us to just focus on just the daily orders that the print shop gets, and then anything extra that we want to throw in there, a couple of random ideas, or a couple of things that we want to take care of ourselves, we'll go ahead and do that. But where it applies, y'all should outsource, and we outsource definitely when it applies. If you go the transfer route, I like the transfer route. I like things that are ready-made transfers. They will be applied with the heat press. They are completed pictures. So when you have the vinyl, once you get past 1 or 2 colors, you really want to go to the transfer process. But basically, it's going to take you more time because each thing that you cut on the vinyl has to be weeded accurately. And if there are layers to the colors, let's say, there's a red border and then a white border and then the interior red and then like the inside of it is black, whatever the color is, each layer you have to cut that design 3 times, weed it 3 times, accurately weed it at that, because you have to weed each layer and then remove the excess, and then you have to apply that design symmetrically so that it's lined up, you know what I mean, it looks right. A lot more work, and so that's just part of the trial and error, me letting y'all know so y'all can figure out how much time and energy and effort do you want to put in that. Vinyl cutters, weeding, all that, gonna take a little time from you coming up with the design, cutting it, weeding it, and then applying it, especially if it has multiple layers, as opposed to a transfer. Ton of color. You go to the manufacturers, you send them a picture, typically a JPEG, I believe. They'll print it off on a transfer sheet, either individual transfer sheet, different sizes, or you can get a roll. There are companies that specialize on this. I'll try to drop the information later on where to go. I know you can go to WeSubin.com, WESUBN.com. Send them your custom work. They'll get you taken care of. They got great turnaround time, great quality, great designs. And you also have AmericanHTVSupply.com. AmericanHTVSupply.com. Again, great rates, great prices, great turnaround. But anyways, I like the transfer process because you can essentially send a picture over. I don't have to worry about doing all the weeding and the cutting and the design. It comes out ready, whatever artwork. But you do need to make sure that the artwork is completed. Whatever artwork you send to them is what's getting printed out, exactly that size. So make sure the background is transparent. But essentially, it's been the ability to take a completed picture with 20, 30, 100 colors in it, and it's going to print that out. Now, if you had 100 colors on vinyl, see what I'm saying? A lot more work, a lot more weeding, a lot more time, as opposed to the transfer process. Picture comes out ready, you cut, you line it up, you press it, it's ready to go. And it's also, decent, very, very, very doable in the washer, in the dryer. Again, depending on the quality of your manufacturer and where the prints come from. And prints might actually be cheaper depending, especially when you order in bulk. Again, when you're doing the vinyl, more work, more time, more weeding, more hands-on with the process. Transfer process, you can have a stack of sheets ready to go. You're just taking the sheet off, pressing it, peeling it, pressing it again, move it, next item, press, peel, next thing. But it allows you to move faster, a lot more color, a lot more vibrant, better quality of work so you can charge more, which will increase your profit margins and increase the branding. Some of the pros and cons, we'll get into that now. Pros of having your own print shop: higher profit margins. Profit margins help you thrive and not just survive. So that's something that you're taking on. Faster turnaround time regarding existing orders, or we'll say existing merchandise that people place order with. Instead of us having to, middleman it essentially and outsource it. And we outsource what we need to for things we don't specialize in or big orders. But for things we can take care of in-house, we'll take care of here at the print shop. We'll get taken care of. And instead of it taking, because we got to get the materials and then get everything cut out and printed or weeded or, whatever the case is, vinyl transfers, whatever. Instead of us having to go somebody else and then tell them the design and update them on how, middleman and go back and forth between basically communicating on what the client wants and what the manufacturer is able to do, we're able to cut out communication, which helps create a better quality product. At the same time, with us having a faster turnaround, we're able to fulfill that order and then move on to the next order. And keep in mind, we got the youth support program going, so the efficiency of the shop is critical and crucial, throughout this entire process regarding getting out our athletes' orders and what they need, their gear, their training gear, their practice gear, and then their uniforms, as well as the orders that are starting to come in from our, community, from people that are, subscribing online, people that are supporting the brand, but help with turnaround time. And that was the main thing, getting the order back out fast to them. And then another thing on turnaround time was, for us internally, when we do have these random or these great ideas, these ideas that we want to, bring to fruition, again, instead of us having to go middleman and talk to a designer or whatever the case is, to a degree, if we were able to take care of it in-house, then we did. And it allowed us to grow, to get more profit, but also to fail faster, to figure out what doesn't work, what customers didn't like, what we didn't like, processes that we didn't like and we don't like, which is why we're not big on the vinyl process to a degree, and why we're big on outsourcing it. Because as a boss and as a CEO, as a leader, you have to find a way to elevate so you can delegate, and you need to be able to work on the business and not in the business always. It's hard to work on the business and get the sales and the traction that you need and the revenue and the branding and the marketing if you're always working in the business. But it's what you call it, a catch-20, double-edged swords, whatever. Something that you got to work on both ways, because it's hard to work on the business if there's nothing going on in the business. And sometimes you need to be in the business to make sure that the foundation is laid properly, that the infrastructure is laid right, so that when you go back to working on the business and you bring people to work in the business, you can focus on working on the business and growing and scaling it. But yeah, those are some pros. Like I said, just having that design flexibility, having a design, going to sleep with it or thinking of it at night, and then, man, like, I can make this happen now. I don't have to wait a week or 2 or 3 or whatever. We can, kind of figure this out now. And that allows us to grow, like I said, and go through the trial and error and the failing process a lot faster so that we can figure out how to win. One con is you're going to be working in the business a lot more, you know what I mean, once you get the print shop going. Not just because you have to get it going, lay the foundation down, get the supplies and the materials, but initially until you build it up to where you have a team to basically that can take on smaller tasks, to where you can focus on the bigger tasks, the larger picture, and work on the business and not in the business, you're going to be in there. I was in there, we've been in there. And I mean, designing, cutting, printing, sourcing materials, going face to face to meet the manufacturer of things, and sales process, setting up a sale, closing the sale, like I said, and then actually having to produce the garments themselves, and the weeding and the cutting and the ordering of the transfers, actually shipping out the labels, you know what I mean, set up the printer label and the scale, and setting up FedEx accounts and UPS accounts, and actually going out here and getting it out the mud. And that was needed because, like I said, that taught us a lot, taught me a lot on kind of on where we are and where we're trying to go, on how to come up with better systems and better processes, and learning when to elevate and delegate, or learning when to delegate certain things so we can elevate. But at the same time, a con is going to be you're going to be working in the business, and you actually need to be working on the business so that you can grow. You need to work in the business so that you can, lay the foundation and the infrastructure down. But good managers, good bosses, good employees, good leaders, you have to learn to replace yourself, which is going to allow you to work on the business and grow. So yeah, keep that in mind. You start your own print shop, you're going to be working in the business instead of on the business until you find a way to delegate those tasks to other people. But it was well worth it though, like I say. Another con is once you go into having your own print shop, you're going to need space to work out of. So some type of square footage. Some people are fortunate, depending on, what your shop and what your setup is like and what you got going. Some people are working in their basements, garages. Some people do it in their rooms, kitchen. You got to find what works for you. I've seen people do it out of storage units. I've seen people actually go get office space or commercial space to actually, which is not a bad idea. I actually like this idea. But go get commercial space and then have that there to be able to separate the actual business from the house. But you're going to need workspace, essentially, space to store and space to store your inventory, completed merchandise, completed inventory that's ready to be shipped to the customers that just bought it, and just your inventory to actually complete the order itself. Again, depending on your method, on what you're trying to do. A lot of methods use the heat press, so you're going to need a place to put the heat press. You're going to need a place to store vinyl or transfers. What else? Tables. I like to use folding tables. I got a couple 6-foot folding tables. I also got these tables not just because they're light and they're strong and I can move them around in the shop when we need to, but also when we do our pop-up shops. Me trying to work, kill 2-3 birds with one stone. It's like these tables, we take them to pop-up shops because they fold up and they're about 2.5, 3 feet once you fold them up all the way. But we're able to use those not just as work tables, but as pop-up shop tables as well. It also helps save a cost. I wasn't thinking about, well, I was because I knew about this already. But when you sign up for pop-up shops and vendor spaces, a lot of times they're going to charge you for a table There's nothing wrong with that or anything like that, but we were able to save on that a little bit. Just another, saving right there. Because we come with our tables, we come with our own tablecloths, we come with everything. We just need the space. Real quick, like I said, we got a 7-campus college tour coming up. Texas, Louisiana, man. We coming through the South. Somebody calling my phone. We coming through the South though, man. We got 7 campuses. That's my partner calling right now, matter of fact. But 7 schools coming up. Texas, Louisiana. We'll start announcing that pretty soon. If you want us to pull up on your campus, drop a comment below or contact us, send us an email. Visit us online at elitevida.com, ELITEVIDA.com. Again, we're looking for the most lit, elite campus. We're looking for the best culture, the best food, the best fans, the best sports. It's got to be lit, though, man. It's got to be elite. We can't pull up, man. We can't do what we need to do. But when we do pull up, it's going to be a whole little vibe, man. Food, music experience, a good experience, I'm sorry. We're going to get a little pop-up shop thing going. We're going to be doing giveaways and, prizes, all that. But let us know, man. We coming to a campus near you, or to your campus, actually, if it's lit enough. But let's turn up, man. Like, share, subscribe, follow the content, support youth sports. Each sale helps support and grow our youth sports programs. We started with 2 kids in Oak Cliff, Texas, and now we're at over 200 kids in 3 cities. Started with $120, man, 3 designs, and as you see, man, we still growing. We coming up. I like this little peachy look, man. Let me know, what I'm saying, what y'all thinking in the comments. If you like this part of the spring look. Phone blowing up now, man. I ain't that popular, man. I tell you that. But nah, man, it's business calling right now, so we gonna tune into you or get with you next time. Another thing, like I said, is the embroidery. I don't know a ton about embroidery because we don't specialize in it. We don't do it. It's not something that we want to dive into or plan on diving into anytime soon. Unless we just, we sales blow up, then, we'll go ahead and revisit that. But we outsource our embroidery. Just because there are people that already have the machines already. We weren't ready to invest in that. It's a lot, going into the embroidery game, not just the materials, but the actual machinery itself. And there are people that already have that set up. So it made more sense just to tap into them and let them do what they do. Again, providing them the garments, the materials, and the design. All they got to do is apply it. Take some thread, put some man hours and knowledge into it, and then make it work. And then we were able to come up with a final product. But we were able to outsource that. And I will say this too, man. One thing I didn't know: once you get your brand going, and actually, we always say once you get it going, and it's legit, and y'all growing, and y'all been stable for a little bit, manufacturers are gonna start coming to look for you. They're gonna start DMing you and messaging you, local manufacturers, people in the U.S., but definitely you're gonna have people overseas. From the India, the Pakistan, the China. Got a couple of Thailand people that reached out. And they're like, hey, we can produce especially, and I'm getting it twofold now, which is a beautiful thing. I got people reaching out about sport uniforms. Hey, we can be a sport uniform provider, as well as for the athletic streetwear brand, which again helps support all your sports. People reaching out about that, or companies reaching out about that. And it's been a beautiful thing, man, because we weren't planning on getting here. But we here and we growing, and we had 200 kids, and next stop is going to be 500 kids and then 1,000 kids. Right now, we're in 3 cities. We need to be in, 50 cities in 7 years, man. So we coming to a city near you, man. And, show love so we can pull up on you. So, yeah, man, we had a manufacturer, actually a few manufacturers reach out to us. And we're getting a lot of different manufacturers that reach out that do athletic wear, if you will. That do uniforms, sublimation mainly, because that's the wave right there. But sublimation, cut and sew, and us tapping in with these manufacturers is going to allow us to outsource certain things. And it did allow us to outsource certain things and basically allow us to go from working in the company to working on it. It also increased the quality of our product, so now we can charge more. Kids love the gear. Our patrons, people that's buying the gear and the merch, the hoodies, the shirts, the joggers, they're appreciative. They're loving it, and we're just growing, man. It became a whole thing. But we had you also have manufacturers that specialize in certain things. I know we wanted to get into the embroidery space and stitching space, or patches. Love patches, man. I got a jacket in here somewhere, but we'll keep it right here, man. You can check us out real quick. With the little peachy. But anyways, though, had patch manufacturers reach out to us too. And so, and it's dope what they could do, man. And there's different styles of patches, man. You got the chenille, which I think this is, which you can feel. You got the embroidery, which is more of a flat type style. There's 3-4 different other styles you can, and they'll show you, you know, once you log on to their website to tap in with them. I'll probably share another video or do a video later on of some just who manufacturers, who to reach out to, man. You can find them online. You can actually go to Instagram and do a search for what's custom patches, chenille patches, PVC patches. Man, they do a lot, man. It's some talented people out there, some good companies. It's some bad people out there, man, for real, that do what they do. And so we were able to tap into them, man, and put it all together, and it's allowed us to grow. Another method you have for creating designs is a screen print method. We don't dabble in that either. We know a little bit about it, but it's not something we specialize in. I've got mixed reviews on which one's more durable, the vinyl or the screen print or the transfers. And us personally, we've had more success with the vinyl in the transfer industry. Haven't even tried the sublimation, not sublimation, screen printing. But again, I believe that, you know, to each his own. You gotta figure out what works for you. We wanted to go with something that was gonna be, you know, cost effective and simple. And I know the screen printing process, I don't know a lot about it, but I know there's a lot more to it. I know when I use the vinyl and the Cricut and the transfers, I can essentially have a design on my tablet, on my phone, and I can send that to production, whether it's to a company to go produce it or we gotta print it. I know when I do screen printing or whatever the case is, and this is for every design, you gotta come up with I don't remember what you call it, but a screen or whatever the case is, an individual design for that, and that's only for one. So if you want to customize it even a little bit, if your logo changed, even anything like that, you know, you got to get a whole new, I don't know what you call it, screen done to do it. You got to have the inks. I don't know if that's what it is, but you got to use inks. It's a lot more to it or whatever. It's a lot messy, a lot more messy. And again, we just didn't want to dabble in it, man. The vinyl process and the transfer process has been a lot more friendlier to our budget, to the space we have available in the shop, profit margins, because I know it costs more to go into screen printing, but it is a great thing to outsource, I would say, depending on how many shirts you're trying to do. Once you get to like the 100, 200, 300 orders shirts you got to knock out, and hoodies, that might not be a bad option to tap into. It might not also be a bad option to tap into these manufacturers, but we'll go into manufacturers and overseas manufacturers later. I need to do a video, man, and drop some gems on who to go to, or what kind of mentors you need to go to, who you need to look at if you're trying to start your clothing brand, and kind of where I got my game from. Yeah, I got my own trial and error, my own experiences, and my own game, but there are people dropping that gave me game for real, like, and so I'd be wrong not to share that, but I'll do that in another video. I'm gonna share some game on who to tap in, who to plug into for how to start your clothing brand, the mentorships, and maybe some manufacturers. But like, share, subscribe, man. Support youth sports. See you soon. Shout out to Dallas, Texas, baby, and the Noops at 8-5 or East Texas State, A&M Commerce, baby. Starting our own print shop allow us to thrive. We just want to survive and be barely making it. Allow us to thrive, you know, increase profit margins, cut down on turnaround time dramatically, helped us increase our creative flexibility and get stuff, you know, from brain to actual, you know, manifesting it and creating it a lot faster. I'm big on cutting out the middleman when it's time to and when it applies. And then too, man, this is something else that helped out. And we're really excited about this because actually we might need the franchises. But we started our print shop to take care of our orders, our needs, our athletic orders that were coming in from the athletic streetwear brand. Support youth sports. Visit us online at elitevita.com, ELITE, like Victor, IDA.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at E-League Sports, ELEAGUSPORTS. But anyways, man, we were us starting our print shop was only to take care of our orders, our athletic orders, our athletic streetwear orders, and then our uniforms, because we were getting new uniforms each season. We had kids that were enrolling, you know, last minute in the program, sometimes 2-3 weeks in the program, and it helped us get their uniforms to them faster. But with that happening, we started getting more orders from other people. With us setting up, we found a retail space. Actually went to, what's the name of it? Regis.com. Found a little office space really quick. Since then, we moved to another place, but went to Regis.com, found a small office space, mainly just for us so we can have a more professional environment to work out of. So when we had people showing up to come help out, to come work, to complete their shifts, just a more professional environment. But that gave us visibility amongst the other companies that were there. There were, a couple dentist practices up there, or 1 or 2 law firms, a graphic design company. Somebody had like a studio inside to where they took an area and turned it into a green room and a white room and a photography space. There was an event space inside of it. But with us being there on a daily basis, knocking on our orders, and we just advertised it as a print shop, not just, as the elite print shop, not just as this is where our youth sports program, or not just as a clothing company. But basically, they started reaching out to us about their orders. Hey, we got a company event coming up. Company picnic was the first one we started with. We did a small order. We had about 30 shirts. Friends and family, small little tech company that was in the building, but reached out to us about some shirts. We threw in a few extra shirts, and we kind of took off from there. So not only are we now completing our orders for our athletic streetwear brand, the hoodies, the shirts, the jackets, we got some stuff coming out, man. I'm telling you, some bad stuff. We also do socks now, man, working on underwear. But we're also we're taking care of our uniform orders. But now, outside orders from other customers that want shirts done for birthday parties and quinceaneras and professional events, because we're in this professional space now. So they're wanting, staffing shirts and polos done, different things like that. Now they started coming to us like, hey, can you take care of this? And stuff we could take care of, well, we always say yes, unless we could. That's one thing we learned too. We didn't overextend ourselves, and we started learning when to say no. But initially, we were taking on all those orders, and it taught us to outsource. Because I had a few people that came up to us, and wanted some polos done with the embroidery and certain things. We don't do embroidery, but I know people that do. So bet. Middleman, upcharged it, make sure the quality came out. And I didn't even upcharge them too much. Just want that sale more than anything, and to let them know that we're available for the service. But that, and me not knowing where it was going to go, that allowed us to grow even more. So we had outside sales coming in from people, like I said, that want their own orders done for birthdays and work events, work-related, professional type events. So yeah, man, that should be a pro. Once you start your own print shop, man, in addition to cutting back or increasing profit margin and cutting down on turnaround time and increasing creativity, your creative flexibility, you can start doing other people's orders. And that was just the revenue stream we hadn't even thought of, but we were definitely appreciative of. But yeah. Like, share, subscribe, follow us online at E-League Sports, EL, or actually on all social media platforms at E-League Sports, ELAGUESPORTS. Follow us online or visit us online at elitevita.com. We have an elite, the most lit college campus, the most elite college campus. We're looking for you. Drop comments, drop the names of the schools in the comment box. We pulling up on you. We got a 7-campus tour coming up this fall. Looking forward to pulling up on y'all, doing our pop-up shop thing. Texas, Louisiana, y'all on the radar. We got a couple other cities and a couple other schools on the map. Won't announce those just yet, but y'all drop a comment in the box, man, if your campus is the most elite, the most lit, got the best culture, the best fans, the best food, all that. We pulling up, man, me and the crew, me and the team, man. But again, y'all like, share, support. This doesn't happen without y'all. Appreciate the love. Follow us online at elitevita.com. All social media platforms at E-League Sports, ELEAGUES Sports. Our first 50 subscribers online to the website, elitevita.com, ELITE. V like Victor, ID like dog, A.com. Enter your email, confirm your email. It'll take 3 to 4 seconds to do that. Once you do that, we're gonna send you a promo code. You're gonna get you a free t-shirt, a free elite t-shirt. All you gotta do is cover shipping. Get a free t-shirt, just cover shipping. Follow us online at elitevita.com. Appreciate the support, y'all. See y'all next time.